Good afternoon, everyone. Robert here again. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Figured I got a couple hours today. It's kind of late in the afternoon, but I'm going to try to go ahead and swap out this intake manifold. So I figured today I would just do a quick how to install 4-barrel intake manifold on your typical V8 engine. So for mine, of course, air cleaner's got to come off. I'm going to undo the linkage back here. The kick down I'm going to do here. I'm going to undo the one nut on the stud, lay this bracket to the side. Hopefully it won't mess with my adjustment for the transmission, because that took me forever to get that dialed in. I'll end up just unbolting the cap and tilting it forward. Being that this is a Ford, the distributor does not go through the intake. So I do not have to pull the distributor. This is Chevrolet, it'd be a little different. We'd be pulling the distributor. So I'd be setting it on top dead center, putting the distributor in, retiming it, etc. On this side I have a temperature sensor, and I have the power wire for the choke. In the back I've got the little vacuum tee. So what I'll do is get a few things off and we'll go from there. Well, made a little progress. I ended up going ahead and getting the thermostat housing off. I'm going to reuse this housing. It fits well, it's in good shape. So I just cleaned it up, put some paint on it, got the cap wires out of the way, got the kick down cable, got the throttle linkage off, got the temperature sending unit screwed out, the wire unhooked for the choke. I've got all the nuts off for the carburetor. So from here, I'm not even undoing the fuel line. I am literally just going to set this carburetor over here, out of the way. And that's what I'm going to end up pulling all the rest of this. So from here, of course, all the bolts have to come out. And when you undo an intake, you're going to do it from the outside in an X pattern. It's the opposite of how you would install it. Here's the new intake. RPM air gap. Got it all cleaned up, painted up. Got a phenolic open spacer. Usually helps to dial it in with a small open spacer on a dual plane. Here's their torque sequence, typical from the center out in an X pattern. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just keep jumping back and forth. I'm going to end up torquing it to 25 foot-pounds. So I'll go 15, I'll go around, 20, go all the way around, go 25, go all the way around. I'm going to be running this Velcro gasket. I ended up ordering the bolts from edelbrock. That way I knew I had the proper length bolts and wouldn't have a problem. Okay, well, I've got the intake off. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Whatever they glued these gaskets down with was fucking strong. But I will say this, the inside of the motor is clean. That makes me happy. So here's the old junky torquer single plane. And here's some new hotness. Let me get it cleaned up. Alright, well, we got it all cleaned up. It's time to get some silicone on a few places so we can set the gaskets in place. Before you put the gaskets on, you're going to want to put a little silicone around the water jackets in the front and the back of the heads. That just helps it to stick, because sometimes they get a little bit of corroded. The surface gets a little rough. So don't skip this step. And you don't have to put a real thick bead on there. You're just trying to put a thin coat, something that the gasket has to stick to that might fill in any scratches or any little pits. Because over the years, especially with these older motors, they're going to have a little bit of wear around these ports. That I can guarantee. So from there, you're just trying to slide your gasket in place. Which this gasket's supposed to seal the standard head and the Cobra Jet head. So you'll notice the gaskets are a little bit bigger than the actual intake ports. It's not a real big deal. The car is just a street car. I'm not trying to squeeze every last horsepower out at the track. So you want to put another thin coat, just as a caution, around the water jacket also. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to put a bead along the china wall on the front and back of the block so that the intake can seal and not use them rubber gaskets on the front and the back. I don't like them rubber gaskets because as you tighten down, it seems like they want to push out. And sometimes they won't seal, then you end up with an oil leak, and then you pull the intake again. And it's just easier to build that up with a bead of RTV. And I recommend using gray. Gray seems to do better at the holding the intake than the black. If I was doing the oil pan, I would do the black. But in this situation, the gray seems to hold up better. So from here, the goal is to try to build a gasket out of the RTV. And I find I like using the caulking gun versus like the little tubes. Put you a little dab in each corner. Make sure you're sealed up. This front side's a little harder, because there again, it being a Ford, now I have a distributor right here. All right, it's ready for an intake. I don't trip over the old intake first. Don't let them lie to you. This intake's aluminum, but this fucker's heavy. You gotta try to slip it on this hose first. And apparently, got my throttle caught. And ideally, you don't want to slide the intake. It is a smidge off. All right, I'm on my last step now. 25 foot-pounds. Like I said before, if you just work from the center out in a cross pattern, you'll be okay. And I can tell you with this intake, 2 of these, they did not intend on you to get to. That one's difficult. And then the one on the same side in the front, I could not get a ratchet on. So I am tightening it with a wrench and hoping, praying that I get this even. Because I don't know what else to do. Because it is not going to get to it with a torque wrench. If you've never done this before, it's not too bad. You just take it down in 3 steps. Work it evenly. You can go in an X pattern. Work your way around till you get them all tight. All right, got it back together. Well, I said before, You know, torquing all those bolts is important from the center out. Don't forget that. Don't forget your throttle return springs. Hook up all your vacuum lines. Make sure your fuel lines are tight. You don't want any fuel leaks. Just double check everything before you start it up. Well, for tonight, I believe that is it. It is back together. Thank you for watching. If you would, please like, subscribe, share. Come back and watch some more videos. Have a good night.